Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Wednesday, the 17th day of December 2025. I hope you're all safe and healthy on this Wednesday, that your families are safe and healthy, and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the area of health, along with first responders, every day trying their best to save lives, those that pick up garbage, keep our places clean, and those that make deliveries such as mail for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women out here trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover teenagers and children, victims of child molestation and pedophilia. Those that are helping people that are victims of prostitution, child prostitution, pornography, child pornography, human trafficking, and sex slavery. Double curses on all the perpetrators, profiteers, and perverts that create the demands that cause these industries to exist. Finally, double blessings on the homeless. More than 700,000 men, women, children, families, senior citizens, military veterans, homeless in the United States, and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. There was a basketball game last night in Las Vegas, Nevada. The New York Knicks defeated the San Antonio Spurs 124-113. What was good? There's a lot of good in this win. It wasn't, to me, the cup is more of a emotional stimulus for the Knicks to continue to do what they're doing. It's more of a yardstick to say this is where we're at this time of the year. Still a lot of year to go. But really, it was just a lot of good things that came out of this game. First off, congratulations to the Knicks. San Antonio Spurs played us tough. It was a tough game all the way to the fourth quarter when the Knicks broke it open. But San Antonio was playing good, especially with Victor Wembanyama playing basically less minutes than he would normally play. But, the thing is, guys, like I said, there's a trend in the league right now. Guys like Wembanyama, guys like Chet Holmgren, guys like Mitch Robinson are being more carefully monitored with their minutes. Even though Wembanyama's come back from injury, it's more of a trend overall because guys like that, remember, the NBA game is an 82-game grind. That's one. Serious grind. And a lot of tall, slimmer guys are more susceptible to injuries because of the shape of their bodies, how more frail they are. So in order to preserve them and use them at their maximum, you must somehow control their minutes. So Victor Wembanyama played 25 minutes last night. Now he's coming off injury. And Mitchell Robinson played 18 minutes. And that's what you'll see. They'll play heavier minutes as you get to the playoffs. When you're in the playoffs, you can go all out, right? But for now, so that's a trend that I'm seeing overall with respect to tall, athletic, slimmer guys. So even though it was 25 because Victor Wembanyama was hurt and he was coming off the bench, the only real difference should be in the near future. He's not coming off the bench. He's starting, but he still should be in the 25 to 30 minute range regardless. So that, even though he was limited in that regard, I wouldn't count that as a big disadvantage. The Knicks just played him very well when he was on the floor, using mostly OG Anunoby. This is another thing. OG Anunoby is probably the most versatile defender the Knicks have, because he can literally guard 1 through 5, as he was guarding Victor Wembanyama last night. And so the defense of Anunoby really transforms the entire Knicks defense. So that's that. And Anunoby offensively is really like the third option. Okay, so you got Brunson, Cat, and then Anunoby, right? So he fits that role perfectly. And this is, again, fit over fantasy. So in other words, you get a guy that's a third option on a championship team, and he'll flourish in that role. This is OG Anunoby. And of course, again, being the top overall defender the Knicks have. He can guard everybody on the floor. He can guard in the perimeter. He can guard into the basket. He can guard in between. And then he's tough in terms of the rebounding. He does everything like on those things also that help the Knicks win. He's all-star level in my opinion, but we have to see what that looks like. But anyway, he's definitely all NBA defense. So that's important. And so when Anunoby is healthy, and he's able to play the way he normally plays, the Knicks are really good. Now, what I also did, maturation, another an evolution of Mike Brown as a coach. Now, Mike Brown has a style. Mike Brown's style, from what I can surmise at this point, and again, this is what I like about Mike Brown. See, say Tibbs, I love Tibbs. Y'all know I'm Tibbs high, but Tibbs was really set in how he did things. Limited rotation, strong defense, toughness, and definitely in the fourth quarter, 9 times out of 10, he's going with the guys that his regular starters, no matter what the bench was doing, no matter what anybody else was doing, he was going back to his starters in the fourth quarter. Mike Brown is much more flexible in that he's collaborating with his coaches, in that whoever's hot, he's going with. And last night was a great example of that. Now, I'm not sure. When Mike Brown coached in Cleveland, he wasn't quite like that. But over time, he has learned and adapted. I think the experiences he has had, particularly with Golden State, have really helped him as a coach. And he said that himself. But last night, for example, the starting five, Karl-Anthony Towns was solid, but he wasn't the dominant guy we know he could be. And that's not going to happen every night. But he was 16 points, 6 of 12 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3, 11 boards, 4 offensive rebounds, solid from Karl-Anthony Towns. But he wasn't the dominant. And it shows that he was -2. Also, Mikal Bridges. Now, Mikal Bridges was not having a good shooting game, 1 for 5 from 3, 4 of 12 from the field. A little off, but it was the -10 that showed he really wasn't himself. Now, I believe if he wanted to, Mike Brown could have stuck with Mikal, and I think Mikal will come through for you in the fourth. But what Mike Brown did, though, Mitchell Robinson, Jordan Clarkson, and Tyler Kolek, that crew was rolling and he would alternate OG Anunoby and Brunson with Josh Hart. They would rotate that 6. That's what got the Knicks going. And this is why you don't trade a Mitchell Robinson unless you are very sure Hoop Party can do this. And I don't know. But MitchRob had play 18 minutes, 15 rebounds, 10 on the offensive end. Now that 10 on the offensive end gave the Knicks more shot opportunities. So overall, the Knicks shot the ball 105 times versus 99 for the Spurs. Okay, the Knicks got 43 pointers up, hit 38% of them. A lot of that is off of Mitchell Robinson's offensive rebound. That changes a game. Okay, that changes a game. Okay, especially when you're dealing with really good teams. That changes a game. So now the Knicks, look, San Antonio did good on the board. 42 boards is a nice game for a team. That's a nice rebounding game. But the Knicks got 59 boards. 59. 23 on the offensive end. And again, 10 for Mitchell Robinson. So that's why you keep a MitchRob for situations. It don't happen every night, but for situations like that, that's why you keep a Mitchell Robinson. And especially, MitchRob seems to have his best games against guys that's supposed to be better than him. Last night was Wembanyama. We know about what he could do with what he did to Embiid. We know what he did to both Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley. So when it's a guy that's really good and everybody's expecting him to dominate the Knicks, Mitchell Robinson seems to come through. And when it's playoff time, Mitchell Robinson seems to come through. So this is why you keep a MitchRob. I can understand the trade rumors with Dante DiVincenzo because MitchRob's salary would be needed. That's the only way you get this done. You got to use MitchRob's $12 million to get this done. But I love Dante, but I'm keeping MitchRob for this purpose. Okay, and then I told y'all, would y'all give up MitchRob with Dink Pate? Hell no. If all they wanted was the Washington pick, that'd be something. But MitchRob and the Washington pick, no. No. Okay? I'm not bringing Dante back for some damn sentimental reason because, no. This is why you keep a MitchRob. So that's what you have him for. That's why they're bringing him off the bench. And I said before the season, I'd like him to come off the bench to preserve him and to extend his career because that's best for him. Okay? So they're doing the right thing. Also, uh, Jordan Clarkson. You know, he was due to break out, and he was having a tough shooting game in the beginning of the game. But Brown stuck with him, and it was that crew with Kolek, Clarkson, and MitchRob that was the real impetus to get the Knicks over the top. Brunson's going to be Brunson. MVP, which he should be, and he should be considered for the league MVP. Brown ain't lying yet, so that's true. But with that constant, you add them three, and that's what Brown did. He stuck with them three and let them bring the Knicks back and win the game. Now, the maturation of Tyler Kolek. I told you, I wasn't on board with Kolek until this season. When I saw him survive the Summer League, when I saw him survive the Malcolm Brogdon situation, where somebody's going to get cut because they were going to keep Brogdon. Okay? Shamet was going to be there. And there's going to be Brogdon and Shamet, either somebody's going to get traded. It was going to be Daddy or Kolek. Kolek survived. No matter what happened, no matter how it happened, he survived. Then I started seeing him become more aggressive on the defensive end of the floor. He's a different player on the defensive end of the floor now. He really is. And that enhanced his confidence offensively. And I was just saying this yesterday, if you look at yesterday's video, that he really is a good shooter. He just needs the reps and the time. Well, last night, homie pulled out the bag, and he really was, you know, he was a very, and Brunson mentioned it, along with the rest of the crew I mentioned, as factors. We don't win that game without Tyler Kolek coming up the way he came up last night. 14 points, 5 of 9 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3, 2 of 2 from the line, 5 boards, 5 assists, plus 14. That's a dude you want. Okay, now there's going to be some fools that's returning to the John Stockton, Steve Nash comps and try to tell you he's going to take Deuce's place. Stop it. But to have this guy right here reduces the need for Jose Alvarado. Period. Okay? To have this guy playing like this, see, what you don't want is a guy that's now, you're watching him developing maturation of his game in real time. Now, you want to trade that right now? Especially if you're only paying him $2 million? I'm just saying, like, the way he's playing, I'm not counting him as no future all-star. Some people going to get carried away and do it. It's just the habit in Knicks Nation with opioids. But what I am saying is, if he's showing enough confidence in his game and fit with the squad, that I think he'll be just as good come playoff time, which is the most important thing to me because we try to win this chip. So to have him behind Deuce, and see, this is how you do this. This is how they do it. You get Deuce, Kolek, Brunson, McCall, they're all playing guard, with Josh Hart, with Jordan Clarkson, and then don't forget about Larry Shamet, because you got him too coming back. So you have all of that depth, and that's really what the ball game was about last night. San Antonio was pretty much at full strength. The Knicks were missing both Deuce and Shamet, but they went into their back pocket, pulled Kolek out, and Clarkson came out his bag, and the depth was too much. Mobb deep was too deep for San Antonio, period. And that's how you win chips. Yes, you need to have a strong starting five. Well, damn, the Knicks got that. But what you really want, you got to have some depth on that bench. Like I said, the days of LeBron, Bosh, and D-Wade just taking the lead, that's over. That ain't going to happen no more. Because none of these cats today can play 82 games. Ain't no superstar playing 82 games. So you need a bench. And even if they did play 82 games, they need to rest. You can't play these cats 40 minutes every night. Somebody going to get hurt. You've seen it. So you're talking about maybe 35 minutes a night for a superstar, right? Okay. So if you're playing 35 minutes a night for a superstar, that means there's 13 minutes that the superstar is not playing. You need a bench. You could lose a game in that 13 minutes, as we have seen as Knicks fans, both sides. We have beaten people like that, and we've lost people like that. So I'm not getting rid of Kolek for Alvarado. I understand it. I can understand it. But I want more. If I'm going to trade Tyler Kolek, I need more than Jose Alvarado. I need more than that. Because I got a guy that's now, this is no longer, Tyler Kolek is no longer is just potential. He's actually showing results. Okay, it's not like he got the potential to be a good shooter. He showed last night he could shoot. Okay, it's not that he got the potential to be T.J. McConnell on defense. He showed last night he was. Okay, so that's what we're talking about. That was big for the Knicks last night. The 20 minutes that this kid played was the best 20 minutes in the Knicks uniform, in my opinion. The best 20 minutes he played in the Knicks uniform. And we've been saying that a couple of times for him this year. So this is the best game he has had as a Knick. And so I could understand if you were going big game hunting, right? If you didn't have Cat and you wanted to get him, right? I can understand you might include, or if you wanted Giannis and you didn't have Cat. See, we got Cat, so the Giannis thing is out. But I could see a Kolek going in that type of scenario when you're going big. But the Knicks don't need, that's what I'm saying. This whole Giannis stupidness is stupid. The Knicks don't need to go big game hunting for Giannis. We got the big game already. Okay? And so MitchRob, Clarkson, Kolek. Now, Hope Porty played 2 minutes last night. But this is how good the Knicks are right now. You could start a Hoop Porty. And a lot of teams he'll be starting. Or he'd be coming off the bench playing 18, 22 minutes. He's good enough for that. But the Knicks are too deep. Now, last night, Yabusele got DNP-CD. So somebody mentioned to me somebody like Jeremy Sohan. Sohan, the lottery pick, he also was DNP-CD last night. But I think Sohan has more upside than Yabusele. Yabusele is 29, 30. Sohan is he's not even 25, I don't think yet. I think Sohan is probably like 23, 24, something like that. How old is Sohan? Let's take a look. Sohan is 22. 22. See, so if you could replace Yabusele with Sohan, and I think I'm not alone if I say I never wanted the Knicks to get to lose Precious. I would take Precious back in a heartbeat. And the money that they giving Yabu should have been going to Precious, in my view. So I have no problem replacing Yabusele with a Sohan, a Precious, something like that. That just strengthens the depth we got. It really does. So that's the only move I'm seeing. I'm not seeing them really. When you see Tyler Kolek playing like that and you got Deuce and Shamet coming back, there's no need to go for Jose Alvarado. Just no need for it. No. Okay? And so you got all you need in terms of guards. You got all you need. So no need to go after that. But if you want to increase your depth at the 4 spot, you can go get a Sohan. You could go get a Precious. You might be able to get them. Okay? And get them cheap. You know, especially Precious. Precious, you can get him on a minimum. Okay, so that's the only real moves I would see right here. They don't need to do nothing at the 5. You got Hoop Porty, you got MitchRob, and of course, you got Cat that nobody in the NBA could guard. Okay, the closest guy I thought could guard him was Wembanyama, and Cat was like, "What? No." So, yeah, we said at the 5. We set it to 5. And then you still got guys like Jemison, you know, that's still there. Jemison could give you some minutes if you absolutely needed them. But we don't need them right now. See, we don't need them. So, yeah, you know, the Knicks in good shape. Last night was a great win. It was also a maturation of Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson last night shot the ball 27 times. He wasn't necessarily shooting his 3-ball well because he was only 1 for 5. But what he was doing was getting in the paint. He was getting in the paint. And again, if you don't understand the importance of dominating the paint, just because it's a 3-point shooting league right now, you don't understand basketball. Points in the paint, the Knicks 56-44. They won the game by 11 points, and the points in the paint was a 12-point difference. That's no coincidence. Okay, that's no coincidence. And the reason points in the paint were so high because Jalen Brunson was getting in the paint. That was killing the Knicks. They kept this boy Castle. I mean, he was Rookie of the Year last year, and if you didn't know why, now you know. He was getting in the paint almost at will. almost at will. So he was scary. De'Aaron Fox with his quick behind, he was getting in the paint too. But that daggone Steven Castle was rough last night. He was rough, man. So that's why the Knicks won the game. Points in the paint. And the reason they got in the paint was Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson was getting in the paint. He only shot, of his 27 shots, only 5 of them was 3-pointers, which is below what he usually does. But he saw it wasn't going on, and he knew he could get in the paint at will, and he did. He got in the paint at will. Matter of fact, it wasn't just him. Jordan Clarkson, Tyler Kolek, OG, they was getting in the paint. See, so they were, even though OG was lighting it up from 3, he was money on them corner 3s. 5 of them last night. He was money on them corner 3s. Yo, we got a squad. Somebody said we don't need a short guard. Talking about Jose Alvarado. You know what? We don't need anything. We don't need Jose Alvarado. We don't need Devo. We don't need Giannis. We don't need nothing. We just need Shaman and Deuce to get healthy. And that's coming. So here we go. Y'all enjoy this victory. Enjoy your Wednesday. This Knicks are now won 11 of their last 12. Now, this don't count in the standing. But the real is they have won 11 of their last 12. 11 out of their last 12. Here we are. I mean, they won 19 out of 26 games. Actually, yeah, 19 out of 26. And now we play Indiana. It's a back-to-back coming now. We play Indiana tomorrow. And I believe that's in Indiana. Then we come back to New York Friday. And we got a game on Sunday. So you really got, this is a tough stretch now. So the Knicks have played Tuesday night, right? So now they played Tuesday night. And then they play now again Thursday night against the Pacers in Indiana. Then they come back home to New York to play Philly. Philly is balling. Philly's balling. So you got Philly on Friday. Then you stay home, which is the only good thing about this, and you play in Miami on Sunday. This ain't no joke. Okay? So I'm hoping we get Deuce back for Miami. They're reevaluating him tomorrow. I'm hoping we get, not for the back-to-back would be nice to have him, but I don't want to rush him. But I think Deuce will be ready for Sunday against Miami. I think he will. If we can get that young man back for that game and he's back to his Deuce ways, deucing, I think we'd be in good shape. Shamet, I'm really expecting him sometime between the White Jesus Christmas, the 23rd of December, the White Jesus Christmas, and maybe the game after that against Atlanta. But I'm expecting him in somewhere in there. But once we get both of them cats back, we loaded, man. We loaded. And the league got a problem. Well, I've been saying it. The league got the New York Knicks problem. This is going to be a tough weekend, though. Don't get it twisted. They might win against Indiana. Then they got to come back and play Philly. And like I said, Philly ain't no... like in a 7-game series, I'm not worried about Philly in a 7-game series. But in a grind of 82 games, anybody could beat anybody. And now you got to deal with this crew right here. And let me tell you, they're going, Maxey is rough, Edgecombe is rough, Quentin Grimes, Jared McCain, they got back court. They got back, baby. They really do. And then like Kelly Oubre is solid, never been a superstar, but ain't no scrub. He's an NBA player. Then they got Paul George when he decides to get out of the sickbed and play, and same with Joel Embiid. But when they playing together, they rough, man. I mean, they 14-11 right now. So anybody that's 500 at this point has got a shot, the way I look at it. Anybody that's 500 in Philly's 14-11 right now, 4th in the Atlantic Division. They got a shot. Okay, they're good enough. And again, this is the league. The worst team can beat the best team on any given night. So you get a team that's 14-11, they can beat you. Okay, so that's not going to be easy. MitchRob won't play both games. I think they'll probably play Mitchell Robinson Friday, against Philly. So they probably won't play him Thursday, and he'll play Friday. So we'll see how this works out. But I'm liking our chances. I'm liking our squad. I'm liking the flow right now. Let's stick with it. Y'all enjoy your Wednesday. We'll talk soon. Sure.